Is this Mike?
Yes, it is. Is this Kelly?
It is.
Awesome. How you doing, man?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
So this is it. And from what I've been reading for you guys in Foreigner, and from what I've seen in interviews with you, you guys are making this the last tour. It sounds like out of respect for the music. Is that fair to say?
I think it is. I mean, this is a farewell tour is going into 2024 because we can't get everywhere in one year, and I don't. It's getting harder and harder to sing this catalog the way it should be sung, and it's hard to sing when you're 30, and I'm 62, and I just don't want to do a disservice to the songs or to the thousands and thousands of people who've supported this band for almost 5 decades, and that's really important to me. So I'd rather go out on top when we're strong and deliver the songs the way they should be.
I really appreciate that because there's been unfortunately more than one occasion where I've gone to see an artist who I've really admired for a long time, and it just seemed like they really couldn't make it happen.
I see a lot of bands that are phoning it in, or they're putting their stuff on tape, and they're insulting the people who made them who they are, in my opinion.
Now, I also wanted to ask, so for 2 years, nobody was doing anything because of COVID. Was that an influence on the band's decision? I asked this to a lot of artists I talked to since then, and they were either like, wow, I couldn't wait to get back on the road. But there were other artists who said, wow, I have never been home for more than a couple of weeks in a row or months or even years. And I found that I really enjoy not going back out on the road or not touring as much as usual. Was that part of was that an influence in this decision?
Well, that's a very insightful question because it goes to the makeup of the person individually. There's a spectrum of people who are entertainers, just like there are in any other aspect of life. And some people need to be on stage to feel whole and alive, and maybe speak artistically. They need that, and they will die on stage. And there are other people who don't feel that way. I discovered a long time ago that I have other things that I'm passionate about besides music. And I've noticed that, and it was accidental that I discovered this, but I know a lot of musicians who you have to be absolutely passionate in order to be successful. So what happens is that your mind is completely absorbed with your passionate pursuit of music, and you don't realize that there could be other things that are exciting and interesting to you. And I discovered that there was for me early on, and purely by accident, and it was dealing with motorcycles. And so in knowing that, I had been thinking about for a couple of years about maybe, like, could I figure out a way where I could take 6 months off and just kind of take a break, because I've been on the road for almost 20 years, 9 months a year straight. And that doesn't allow a lot of time for life on your own. You can't really live life on the road. I've tried to do it. It seems very difficult. So when COVID came along, I got married. I saw the seasons change at my house for the first time that I ever had in living there for 15 years.
Wow.
And it makes you just see things differently. And I think it had an influence on a lot of people in music who travel a lot. And some of them said, you know what, wow, maybe there's something else out there for me too. I love doing what I do. I feel very grateful and fortunate that we've had the support of the fans that we've had for almost 5 decades. And there's no mistaking that that's a truly gift. And but there are other things I love. I want to spend time with my wife and family. I want to be able to do things while I still can. I don't want to die on stage. I don't want to look old and decrepit and terrible and sound crappy and deliver terrible performances. I don't want to do any of that. I want to be great and stop.
Right. And not disappoint anyone. If we could just sidetrack a little bit. So motorcycles are your passion. as far as that, is it collecting or building them or just riding them? What is the focus there?
Well, I mean, motorcycles, I had always been mechanical because of necessity. When you're starting out as an artist, I had to do all my own car work because I couldn't afford someone else to do it.
Right.
So, and back in the 60s and 70s, cars were a lot simpler, and you could work on them yourself. And so then I got into motorcycles and building, and not collecting really, but building, maintaining, fixing. That's interesting to me. Also, cooking is a passion of mine. I was on that Food Network show Chopped, and I won. I have a lot of celebrity chef friends. I really enjoy cooking. The whole year and 4 months that we didn't tour because of COVID, I cooked every single meal at my house. I think I ordered out a curry once, and at the very end of it, I went to sushi once. Every other meal I cooked at home. And I just enjoy living life and doing things with my wife, and so those are other things.
Yeah. So is a restaurant maybe in the future after you're done with this farewell tour?
Oh no, that's far too much work.
That's just it is. I was just going to say, because
be the hardest.
Yeah,
it's got to be one of the hardest jobs. To be a chef trying to run your own restaurant has got to be one of the hardest jobs out there.
Like you said, it's life consuming, just like being a musical artist.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe even more so. If you're working 80 to 100 hours a week trying to run and maintain a restaurant, that's really, really hard.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to motorcycles for a second. What is your favorite motorcycle?
I would love to have maybe a 48 Harley Bobber, which I don't have. Okay. I've had some cool bikes. I had a 1968 Electroglide Harley Davidson, which was awesome. I completely rebuilt it from scratch, all by myself. I mean, including carrying the motor in and out of my car to the shop where they rebuilt the lower end. I had an 18 over Springer Harley that was a suicide shift that I really enjoyed because I knew no one could steal it because they couldn't ride it. But who knows? Maybe I might start getting into English bikes a little bit too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what the future?
Well, then now I'm going to ask you. That seemed like you felt pretty easy answering that. Now I'm going to ask you, from is it 18, 19 years in Foreigner at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So of that time, what is your favorite song to perform?
Well, see, the thing is that I'm just not a favorites type of person. And I know that there have been other people who have said this, like, why is there a question of what's best, what's worst, what's, favorite, what's least favorite? I have this beautiful bowl of ripe, delicious fruit in the form of songs that I get to perform. One day I'm in the mood for an orange. One day I'm in the mood for a strawberry. And I'm just fortunate enough to have that choice where each of them are great. And because there's so many variables in a show that may make you enjoy a song that particular night because maybe it's indoor, outdoors. Is it moist? Is it dry? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is the audience small or large? Can you hear yourself better or worse? Those all affect how you feel about a song that particular night. So it's really an individual kind of thing.
Yeah, and so many hits. I was looking at some of the set lists. I won't give anything away because you guys are going to be here August 5th at the Xfinity Center. But I think there was one song on there I wasn't familiar with. It must be amazing. I mean, to feel that energy of the people singing along to something like "I Want to Know What Love Is." Are you're probably going to miss that?
That's true, but it's a difficult show to perform. It's incredibly taxing. Imagine an athlete. This is gonna make me sound really stupid, but it's almost athletic. And imagine an athlete trying to still run up and down the basketball court at 45 or 50, and I'm 62, and it's very similar to that. The amount of air I'm using and the amount of running around I'm doing, I think, is comparable to that, and it just it's a lot of work. And yes, there are moments in there where I just go, oh my God, but 100% of the time I'm performing. So I'm trying to elicit a good time for everybody else. I'm not really doing it for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really about me trying to give everybody a good time. That's what I'm really trying to do. And yes, sometimes I'm up there having a great time too. But that's not what it's about. It's about me being an entertainer and entertaining and try to put on a great show and give everybody a good time.
I don't think the comparison to an athlete is stupid. I think it's very valid. I mean, you're running back and forth on a stage. You're trying to sing well and get the crowd going. You're multitasking. You're breathing. I mean, I think you're working harder than most golfers, I would say, and some people call them athletes, right?
Right.
I mean, you look at someone like Mick Jagger, who runs like 10 miles a night, you know, on a stage, and does everything else very well. Same thing with you, right? I mean, so I wouldn't say that's a dumb comparison. I mean,
Mick Jagger is exceptional because if you watch him in performance now compared to 30 years ago, you'll notice something about performers. The older they get, the more they distill their movements down. When they're in their 20s and 30s, they're running all over the stage, and by the time they're 50 or 60, they're moving their arms and they're kind of stomping their foot, but they're not going around the stage like they did 30 years ago. And if you watch Mick Jagger, he's exceptional because he's still doing it all at whatever he's 78 now.
He just turned 80 yesterday.
He just turned 80. He is exceptional. Really a master. Really.
I was looking at the Foreigner website, and the dates are listed up through November 18th. You're saying this is going to go into 2024. Do you know where the last show is going to be yet?
No, we're just starting to kind of wrap our brains around what that might be. And listen, there's a lot of pressure from a lot of different areas to get me to continue to do this, and I can't see that I'm going to continue to do this. So we're now looking because when you're a band like Foreigner, you're already booking a year in advance. Mm-hmm. So we're already deeply into 2024. So, but we haven't decided yet where the last show is going to be.
And Mick Jones, is he still going to participate like he has been recently, kind of showing up when he feels well enough to get on stage?
Right. Exactly. I mean, he's with us whenever he's able to be with us, and he is still the architect of this band, and he and I have worked closely for many years. And the great thing about it is that we've always been very simpatico about our ideas and about how we think things should be done. So yeah, whenever he can be with us, he is.
Jeff Pillson, I talked to him actually a couple of years ago. He's been performing seated, and I read something where you said he had he hurt his back in an accident involving a ladder. And correct me here, either it was chicken coop or chicken poop. Which one was that?
I'm telling different stories every night.
Oh, great.
How we heard it. So I am tickled to death about the fact that any of these stories are getting into the press.
Oh, this is great.
Because,
well, wait, can you make one up? Can you make one up right now so we can have an exclusive here at the Pike?
Sure. Well, Jeff has been a volunteer in many different aspects of his life, but he was in Myrtle Beach, and they were doing a live fire exercise at the military base where he was volunteering, and he actually jumped on a grenade to save a baby, and so he injured his back, but hopefully he'll be well soon. He'll be better soon.
God, that guy is talented. Unbelievable. That's awesome. You heard it here first, folks. Jeff Pillson saved a baby. That's right. Why he's sitting down at the shows.
That's right.
Kelly Hansen, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. And again, I really, you have all my respect I could give for the decision why you guys are calling it. And out of because it's about the music. It's about the amazing songs that Foreigner has, the myriad of hits. And so good luck on the rest of this tour. Please keep us informed. as to any kind of special happenings, or when that last show is going to be. And we're looking forward to seeing you here in Mansfield on August 5th at the Xfinity Center. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the support. Appreciate it.